You should have heard our studio. There was a collective "aww" in the air. So adorable, little Leo. Now, children are adorable too, but they can also be not so adorable. Child tantrums are a frightening, exhausting, and shame-inducing part of parenting, which often leaves parents feeling overwhelmed and unsure of what to do. Well, today, educational psychologist Anel Annandale joins us in studio to share some tips on how parents can go about handling their child's tantrums. Anel, so good to have you on our show.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So I think we've all seen child tantrums at their absolute worst, and it leaves parents feeling absolutely exhausted. What are some of the common factors that lead to a child throwing tantrums?
Essentially, a tantrum is a reaction to extreme frustration. At the age at which we usually see these things happening, you have this little toddler who's got this increased mobility. They are starting to become independent. They can move around, and then they're so limited by their language. They can't tell you what's wrong.
Yeah.
So that must be very frustrating.
I'm sure it is, but you know, you just feel it for the parents. I was on a flight the other day, and this mother had nowhere to go, and her child was going to that next level. What are some of the parenting tips that, you know, parents watching today can use to diffuse those situations where tantrums start to appear?
Essentially, you don't want to play into that power struggle.
Yeah.
You are struggling with your child about who's in control here, and it needs to be very clear mommy's in control. So you totally ignore a temper tantrum. It's very difficult, but you don't play into it.
Yeah.
You might, like you said, it's very shame-inducing. You might want to just accept that you are going to be embarrassed a few times socially, and maybe even preempt that. I've had parents actually write a little note to their neighbors to say, I'm sorry, but we're going through the temper stage. You can come and have a cup of coffee to make sure that we're not actually abusing her, but you're going to hear some screams.
Yeah, wow. And then, of course, what are some of the mistakes that parents commonly make when it comes to reacting or dealing with a tantrum?
I think reacting aggressively, because what your child is looking for is a reaction. So now you're giving this negative reaction, which does the same thing, and that just leads to a whole, you know, sort of cycle of looking for drama and all sorts of things, and giving in.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you need to really stick to your guns with a tantrum. You cannot give in.
It's difficult, though. It is difficult. Like, we've seen it in the toy aisle or the sweets aisle of a shopping mall, you know, where the child is losing their mind. It's so easy to just say, okay, fine, have this, so you can keep quiet. That's the wrong thing to do.
It is the wrong thing. Okay. And also, if you do it effectively just a couple of times, there's less of a chance that you're going to have to do it repeatedly. Just a couple of times, do it.
It's difficult. It is so difficult. I think I might just stay away from stores and flights and everything for the first 10 years of my child's life. Thank you so much, Anel. Well, we're going to be chatting to you a bit more on the show because I think this is a very, very important topic. And of course, if you do have any questions, you can feel free to put those to our expert this morning with regards to child tantrums and how you can deal with it. Somebody that never ever throws a tantrum but is so beautiful and gorgeous on our Feel Good Breakfast show, Zoe.
Only you can make my day.